I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. There's another paid request, this time from Guillermo, who's a very generous guy. Thank you so much if you're watching this. Really do appreciate it. For those who want to support me or send in requests directly via my PayPal or join my Patreon, both links are down below in the info box. It could be for pretty much any type of video, commentary, re-review, review, topic, reaction, randomness, what have you, list, what have you. This is for a film called Employee of the Month, and I thought at first it was the film with Jessica Simpson and Dax Shepard and Dane Cook. I went, oh no. But now this is a different one from 2 years before, because that's 2006. This is the 2004 film, and I don't remember. It's just like Dane Cook. That might be better than this because, or shitty in a different way. I was not a fan of this film. It's got a decent rating on IMDb. I understand that. People like it. That's cool. If you like it, that's cool. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my kind of movie. People say that if you like the Coen brothers, you'll like this film. I disagree because I love the Big Lebowski. I like Fargo for what it is. Other comedies, Office Space. Just go watch Office Space. Go watch. I mean, Matt Dillon stars in it. I would rather rewatch The House That Jack Built because while that's a lawn movie, to me it's an way over lawn movie. That was interesting. The House That Jack Built was an interesting movie, to say the least. Very interesting. And what it was trying to do, it kept me like, where is this movie going? And I thought Matt Dillon did a really good job. Here, I like Matt Dillon as an actor. I like Kevin Dillon as well from the Blob remake in 1988. So I like both the Dillons. Matt Dillon, I almost want to say he's a bit miscast here. Again, I think he's a really good actor. I don't know if he was the best fit for this. He just seems either awkward or can't quite fit with the role. The idea is that he's a bank employee. One of the first scenes is him on a bus narrating, talking about you never judge a book by its cover unless that cover of the book reads that the guy sitting next to you shit himself. And he's looking at the guy, and he's like, you can tell the guy's stained, so he gives the guy like his beer. And he has an engagement party with Christina Applegate from Married with Children and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, among many other films and TV shows. Steve Zahn is a friend from back in the day, and he's arguing with Matt Dillon. No, you don't want to marry Christina Applegate. You don't want to settle down. he goes into his work. His boss, played by Peter Jason. This is a guy who's worked with John Carpenter quite a few times. I believe he was in Ghost of Mars a small bit. I believe he was in Prince of Darkness. I believe he's been in quite a few John Carpenter movies. He plays the boss, fires Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon's a guy that imagines himself in situations, like he pulls a gun on Peter Jason, but you realize it didn't really happen. Steve Zahn's character, I mentioned, he's Matt Dillon's friend, but he's also this very sleazy coroner that will go in and steal steal jewelry, money from dead bodies that he looks at. This is a big fat guy, weird guy that keeps here's the door. He looks like an evil version. Remember the Ernest movies? Like Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Goes to Jail, Ernest Saves Christmas. You know the guy who is with Bobby? You had this thinner guy, Bobby, and you had the bigger guy. I believe the actor's name was Gaylord Sartain. This guy looks like an evil version of him. And he's like, hey, how about my pool, like my booking, my pool about who's going to die next, and this guy has cancer, this guy's got tubes in his nose. It's like, Steve Zahn's a freak, and this guy's more of a freak. And he keeps calling Steve Zahn Bugsy. Dave Foley's in the film as a homosexual guy who Steve Zahn makes fun of, in particular in a steam bath. Christina Applegate finds out that Matt Dillon cheated on her, so she dumps him. And I'm watching this, I'm going, where the fuck is this movie going? Like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, where is this movie going? Where is this movie taking me? What's the actual story of the film? Because no one's really that likable. No one's really that interesting. Matt Dillon, I didn't even get into the third act, which is a clusterfuck, and that's really when this movie, I think even if you're enjoying the film, the ending kind of torpedoes itself. Even if you're liking the film, which I wasn't because I didn't think it was funny. It's like trying to be a black comedy, then it's trying to be a crime caper, then it's a drama, and then it does like 7 twists. And I'm like, what the fuck? And the twists, I'll give a spoiler warning before I say them, in case people want to see the film. But the twists they either what, or huh, or why, okay, you're trying too hard, or it's like, well, wait, how does this make sense then? And like I say, if you're even enjoying the film, the fucking, maybe it's like 7, but it's like 4 or 5 twists that might make you think, fuck this movie. It's just okay, like, the dialogue, the characters are not likable in any sort. I don't care about anybody in the film. I don't root for anybody in the film. Like I said, Matt Dillon seems a bit awkward and miscast. It seems like you needed, I hate to say Ryan Reynolds, or like the guy in Office Space. The lead guy in Office Space worked fairly well for that role. I'm trying to think of another person at this time. I'm trying to think what actors were around in 2004. But you know what? Maybe it would not have mattered. It would have helped, but it would not have mattered because the script, when I hear dialogue like they're in the steam bath, Steve Zahn, Matt Dillon, Dave Foley, and Steve Zahn's talking about, just randomly, you ever watch Figure Skating Man? I mean, I'm not into sushi, but that Michelle Kwan, and Matt Dillon's telling her to shut up, and then Steve Zahn pauses, and he pauses, and he goes, man, I'd suck sock. What the fuck did he say? I want to get it right. I'd suck sake out of her ass in front of my grandmother. Good to know. Good story, bro. Or at a strip club, Steve Zahn says, the fart locker on that little princess is killing me. The fart locker? Maybe I misheard it. Did he say fart knocker? Is he a Beavis and Butthead fan? Or did he say the fart locker? What the fuck is a fart locker? Is that an ass? I've never heard an ass called a fart locker. I never heard any ass called a locker, let alone a fart locker. This is what I'm talking about. And even that scene, this is after Matt Dillon has been dumped because Christina Applegate got a letter with someone's pair of panties, and that's Matt Dillon is cheating on her. And so he's at the strip club. Steve Zahn's there too. He says that stupid line. And then Steve Zahn's trying to explain love and sex and about how it's all chemicals and natural stimulants in the brains. And it'll cut to a dream scene, like, oh, not even a dream, but him fucking a woman doggy style while banjo deliverance music is playing. While he's fucking a girl doggy style, as Steve Zahn with his full fucking bush beard is talking about natural stimulants of the brain and blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't give a fuck. Okay, I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's entertaining. It's just more annoying than anything. It's irritating. And humor is subjective. It's hard to explain. Why is it not funny? Because if humor is subjective, if humor is different for every individual, if one person laughs at a fart joke and one person like me goes, I don't care for it. On the flip side, if I can watch the Golden Child with Eddie Murphy and laugh my ass off, flip side, someone looks at it and go, I don't get it. I don't find anything funny. Or I love The Big Lebowski. There's some people who hate it. I like Napoleon Dynamite. Some people hate it. I like Harold Kumar Go to White Castle. Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. Some people hate it. Some people love Norbit with Eddie Murphy. I fucking hate it. Some people love the Nutty Professor films. I'm like, I don't get it. I love Clerks and Mallrats and Chasing Amy with Kevin Smith. Some people love Yoga Hosers. I'm like, I don't get it. Some people love Movie 43. I don't get it. To each their own. So with that in mind, how do you explain why something's not funny when it's all about opinion subjective? It's just, this movie didn't do it for me. Maybe it'll do it for you. I would rather just go rewatch Office Space. About a story about a guy that things are not working out well, and then the job is pressuring him, and this movie's Tasty fires him. The one scene I didn't mind, the one scene I will give credit to, there's a motel scene where Matt Dillon has this hooker. I don't think they have sex, but they're talking, and she asks him, how did you get this mark? Because he has this burn mark. And he tells the story about how he got his face burned. And he tells about how afterward he was drifting through life, and one day he saw a guy with a suit, and it's like, I bet he's got a great job, I bet he's got a great car, and a beautiful wife, and I wanted that. And I tried for it, and like 2-3 years later I got it. Oh, that's great. It wasn't. Because that's not who I really am. And I start to realize it isn't who I am. It's a lie. It's who I want to be, or it's who I want to pretend I am. But it's not who I truly am underneath. And that's probably going to be found out or let out sooner or later. And I thought, okay, like, that's where Matt Dillon shines. That's where he shines. And I don't know if it's because I don't know if Matt Dillon does the best with comedy. Because I don't care about There's Something About Mary. There's other Fairly Brothers films I enjoy more. Dumb and Dumber, Teen Pin, Me, Myself, and Irene. I like those more than There's Something About Mary. And, you know, Matt Dillon, and like, I just, that movie doesn't work for me. There's a lot of comedies I enjoy. I love Richard Pryor. See No Evil, Hear No Evil, The Toy, Moving, Stir Crazy, Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, 48 Hours, Metro, Golden Child, John Candy, Summer Rental, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Mel Brooks, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein I like. I mentioned, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Whoopi Goldberg, Harold Kumar Go to White Castle, Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, and Next Movie, Clerks. Like I did, those are some of my favorite comedies. Three Men and a Baby, Robin Williams stuff. I like Good Morning Vietnam. I like Mrs. Doubtfire. That's definitely a film that I liked as a kid, and then in my teenage years I went, I don't know, guy. But then I'm like, nah, I do like this. I don't like Big Mama's House, but I like Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm going all over the place now, just talking about comedies. I like National Lampoon's Animal House, and National Lampoon's Vacation, National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1. Hot Shots Part 2 I like more than the first Hot Shots. So I'd rather be talking about random comedies in this fucking movie. Because to get to the third act, spoiler alert, this is where the movie fully torpedoes itself. I think there are people who liked it still. Too soon. This is what happens. Matt Dillon goes into work. Place is getting robbed. After he's threatened the boss and comes out, place being robbed. He imagines himself being a badass, shooting the robbers. Which doesn't make sense when you know what happens later. Because he imagines killing all the robbers. He snaps out of it. Then he Well, no, he doesn't do that. He imagines it like he's John Woo movie. He gets wounded. He shoots one of the robbers. The others grab him, put him to a trunk of their van. They drive away. Cut to, we found Matt Dillon's body, burnt up. We can only deal with dental records to establish his identity. Christina Applegate is sad. She's crying. And this is when the twists really come into play. Spoilers, and keep up because it's going to be confusing as fuck. First off, we come to find out that Matt Dillon for like 2 years has been planning this robbery. Yes, Matt Dillon was with the robbers. All that was an act. The one guy they killed was the guy that wasn't really part of their group, was, does he call it sacrifice? Him, Steve Zahn, Dave Foley, and a girl that worked at the bank, they were all in on it, along with Matt Dillon. They faked Matt Dillon's death, falsified records, erased his identity. Now, maybe if it stayed there, maybe, and the movie ended, I'd be like, it's kind of mediocre. Yeah, didn't really care for it. Then people start leaving. It's Steve Zahn and Matt Dillon. Steve Zahn goes pitch something up. Matt Dillon grabs him, shoots Steve Zahn in the head. Because Steve Zahn is a guy that when they were younger accidentally burned Matt Dillon's face. And he's still pissed about that. So he gets his revenge at this point. Okay. So then Matt Dillon is with the bank girl. And they were together for a long time. Apparently even with the Christina Applegate, they were together. So then that girl shoots Matt Dillon in the head. And kills him. Because, lo and behold, Christina Applegate is part of all this. And Christina Applegate and that girl, they're lovers. Just I guess that girl told Christina Applegate what's going on, and then Christina Applegate went up and killed Dave Foley. And so now they have the money. The two girls are in the car. They're driving. And then they're hit by a bus. Their car is hit by a bus. And then the credits roll. I sit there and I go, okay, this is trying really hard to be these herky-jerky twists that you feel like you've been, what's the word I'm looking for? When someone hits you, you're in a car, whiplash. It's a fucking whiplash of such veracity that you just kind of leave a bad taste in your mouth going, fuck you, movie. Like, he's trying to be very clever, very spiffy with all his twists and turns, but I'm like, what the fuck? Really? Like, this is a movie that it's like wants to be this black comedy about a guy who things that aren't working out well, and then it wants to shift to this, and then the ending wants to go this. And it's like, it doesn't want to make up its mind. It becomes inconsistent. If Matt Dillon knew these guys are with him and was part of a plan for 2 years, and he was going to be dead anyway, why didn't he just shoot the fucking bank manager? Well, okay, it's because he was a hero and then he's led to his death and then he's not found out. So, okay, I understand not doing that. But why does he imagine killing the robbers if the robbers are his comrades at that point? I'm surprised he didn't kill the fucking robbers, if that's the case, if he cared about killing everybody. And just like, bah. But I guess he can't do that because the other woman is with him and be like, what the fuck? So I guess I'm answering my own questions. But yeah, he imagines killing the robbers. So I guess, like, in retrospect, he wants these guys dead anyway. Then I'm like, okay, well, why didn't he go... I don't know, man. It seemed like a very complicated thing to get this fucking money. And... I guess on one hand, since none of the characters were likable and they were all bad, they get their just desserts. So I guess that's a good thing. I don't think it's really an entertaining movie. If you don't do that, you have to be very well structured as a writer or director. Quentin Tarantino did it with Reservoir Dogs. But that's why Tarantino is a director that's gone to do quite a few damn good movies. From Pulp Fiction to Jackie Brown to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Kill Bill. This director, I don't know what the hell this director's gone on to do. And it's also weird that, you know, Matt Dillon's narrating. Even after he gets killed, he's narrating. He's narrating from the grave. And like, well, what did the whole beginning narration even talk about? About never judge a book by its cover unless the book's covered in... Like, it seemed like the movie was going one way, then it's going another way. It's like... misleading you in the one direction, and it's not even that entertaining. Then the ending's like No, now it's a crime caper. Then it's like a, I don't know if I want to say mean-spirited movie. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know what they were trying to do. I really don't. You know, people say it's trying to be a Coen Brothers films. It wishes it was Coen Brothers. That's why no one's really talked about this film, heard of this film, and knows of this film. So, like I said, if you like the film, that's cool. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about anymore, trying to explain this. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.